morning, good morning, good morning. It's your girl, Becky D, live in the morning, 5 days a week at 7 a.m. You guys, yesterday we discussed having like a game plan, developing one, right? Well, this week, being in the newness, sometimes, you got to have more than one game plan. A lot of teams today operate on about 5 solid plays, right? Growing up playing basketball, especially in middle school, my coach, we ran 5 solid plays. And the crazy part was they were flawless. But that gave us options, and it also gave us a limited amount of things that we needed to practice. We didn't overwhelm the mind, and so it was able to come to us almost like second nature. So having multiple avenues and multiple routes that can be taken is something definitely that we need to always invest in and kind of just take notice of. So when you're thinking about these things, especially when it comes to life, right? You want to make sure that you remember, like, hey, okay, am I able to do this next plan if plan A doesn't work out, right? I'm able to operate plan C until plan A can take into effect. It's all about having a balance and an understanding that one isn't simply replacing another, but sometimes 2 different plans are complementing each other. So a lot of times, I know that I will find myself saying, okay, this is my plan for when I go on a road trip, right? And if you know how I travel, then you'll know I'm pretty structured. I try to plan out 98% of my stops. Down to the gas mileage. Like, I like to stop at certain gas stations. So why would I deviate from that plan? If there's a detour that I didn't see coming, of course there's another plan, but it's going to be in cahoots with my plan A, right? So when stuff like that happens, we tend to panic. And sometimes that panic can look like crushing the can. We kind of get down on ourselves. We don't really know which way to go. We're kind of upset and just like, it happens. And we need to be acknowledging of that. We need to say, you know what? This wasn't the original plan, but I can definitely guarantee that nothing has been lost. Okay. So we definitely have to keep that in mind. It wasn't the original plan, but nothing has been lost. I can recover and I can salvage the remains of whatever happened and continue on. And some of us have plans for our relationships, which I'm just going to give you a quick little tidbit. Stop it. It's not necessary. All right. But, there's like, oh no, I'm dating to be married and this and that. Okay. Why don't we take baby steps? Right? Because sometimes mentioning the marriage word scares a lot of people. Literally, a lot of people. They're like, ooh, I wasn't really planning on being married, but, it's good to have that conversation up front, but it shouldn't be the forefront because you'll be surprised. It's like, hey, well, I technically don't need to get married in order to know that I am in a committed relationship with you. Now, before all of those who are, I don't want to use the word devoted, but all of those who live by the letter of the Bible, okay, which is still hard to do, but I applaud you. And marriage is the main outcome of a man and a woman getting together. Yes, I do wholeheartedly agree with your way of thinking, but I have went to school with several people. I know several people that they necessarily don't need a document in order to I was about to say nullify, which is the opposite word, in order to confirm that they are married, right? I don't remember any of them having a ceremony. I just remember them completely living life happily, committed to each other. So we're going to pose that question. Do you necessarily need the document? Legally, for financial reasons, I guess, yes. But if you think about it, what does the document do? It doesn't do anything, and it just overcomplicates everything. So I'm going to pose that question. Do you need a document? But it's not something that we're just focusing on. But Some people go into the relationships, that's the sole thing, that's the main thing, and that's great. But what's your plan B, right? What if that person is completely against it, but that is your everything? They hit every single check mark, everything that you wanted in a person, that was them. What do? You don't have a backup plan because the only thing you were focused on is those check marks and the fact that you two are going to get married. So now you're kind of at a moment of, I don't know what to do. I have this amazing person who is everything, but this is the one thing. And then you fall apart, right? So this happens in relationships too. Now is the time to kind of reassess everything and have that heart-to-heart conversation. It is hard to have that conversation, but it's easier once you just kind of get it off your chest, okay? So in the working world, in your personal world, we all know how this plays out. The thing is not to crumble. We're not cookies, right? We're sensitive like them, but we're not cookies. We can take the moment, assess, reflect, and then plan accordingly. When people lose their houses to natural disasters, fires, whatever the case may be, they have to start someplace. They can't just fall apart right in that moment because now your well-being is kind of dependent on it, right? You need a place to stay. You need a place for your family. You need a place for you and all 500 of your cats, whatever the case may be. Now is the time to take a breath, think, plan, and try to take some form of action. Because if you just focus on the fact, oh my gosh, I don't know what to do, then that's where you'll stay. And you'll find yourself having a hard time getting yourself started because you've already put yourself in a down, depressed mood. Okay. Now, I'm going to tell you this one little thing to kind of help you through your day. When you're planning, plan, right? But have alternatives and just go ahead and say, if this does not work out for whatever reason, you don't have to list, oh, if I don't make X amount of money in this many years, then this, no, you don't have to be specific. All right. Just know that if it doesn't work out for whatever reason, then this is my next step. This is my next plan. This is an alternative. Just something like that. All right. It doesn't have to be detailed. He was like, oh, and then what if that? And then what if that? And then what if that? And then you sound like a whole room full of kids. Excuse me. The key is to just find your rhythm, stay in it, and continue to thrive in it. All right. You guys, take this time, get out of your head, write it down, plan, journal, write a book, write your memoir, whatever the case may be. But get out of your head and get out of your head quickly, right? Because if not, you will find yourself stuck there. And after a while, you will find yourself kind of starting to get depressed in that moment and not able to fully recover, all right? And I know one thing, I want all of you guys to be able to recover and to thrive and to do brilliant and amazing things in the world, all right? You guys, my name is Becky D with Becky D in the Morning. And guess what? I will definitely be talking with you all tomorrow morning.